Dragons podcast that'll really make you think. We're spicing up the rules, mashing up the home brews, and stirring up the debates. Add a little touch of our own, and you have Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. With your host, the Pirate Captain.
It's not because I took on an entire ship by myself and walked away unscathed just off good looks alone.
Chef Bolgg.
I have in my rules for the original AG. Don't be a dick.
And Loke the Bard.
Lock the bard. Bans all bards from his campaign. That wouldn't go over very well.
And without further ado, here are your hosts.
Yarr! We finally back at it, boys.
Hey! Woo-hoo.
It's good to see everybody back in the studio. We do have a very special guest today.
Very short one.
Yes, he is very short.
Not short.
You're very short.
You're a dwarf.
I'm as tall as you.
No, you're not.
I am so.
I don't think so at all.
Just because I'm a halfling doesn't mean I'm not as tall as you.
I think that's exactly what that means. Alrighty, guys. I am the titular pirate captain. Back at it with me bestest buddies, Bolgg.
Hello.
And my best buddy,
you did.
Loke.
Yellow.
Well, and of course you've heard our special guest, the very ever fine Nigglewort, my longtime running nemesis. And we'll get into him here in just a second. And I don't want any words from the peanut gallery over there. And it's already
That's
happened.
what she said.
Got a lot. Hey, we've got a lot of stuff to get over before we get into today's episode. A lot of fun things coming your way. First off, BolganPC@gmail.com. If you have any gripes, bitches, complaints, concerns, you can email us. We happily read those, and we'll read it right here live with us. You can also find us, Bolgg and PC, at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you just do a quick Google search, we actually pull up, we're one of the first things, just Bolgg and Pirate Captain. And today's episode is, of course, brought to you by our friends over at the Red Dragon Workshop Studios. If you have miniatures that you want, there's no better crew to get it done than the Red Dragon Workshop Studios. You've seen the photos that they've done that we've shared on our Facebook, the miniatures. We're trying to get into one of their painting parties. We missed that last one. Bolgg was sick. I was sick. And Loke was doing Loke things.
Loke was partying on the other West Coast.
Yeah, that's what we're going to say. That's what it was. But that's not the big news I want to get into. The big news I want to get into right now is we are officially going to be at Necronomicon. That's over at it's going to be Tampa between 23rd and 25th, the Florida Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Convention. It's horror because what other kind of convention is going to let us three rowdy guys go in there and have fun? Horror.
He said whore.
You know what? I'm already done with you guys in this peanut gallery. It's the 41st year here in Tampa, Florida. It's over at the Embassy Suites over at USF. We've got a panel coming up on the 24th, correct?
Yeah, the 24th. We've got one at 11 a.m., which is going to be our big, come and meet us and, be on the show if you want to.
Absolutely. I'm going to have us all set up. It's going to be that'll be the show for that week. So you guys will be able to be a part of it and come hang out with us.
Yeah, and then we've got another panel at 3 p.m., which will be our kind of Q&A session where we ask you guys questions. You guys ask us questions. It'll be a lot of fun. And then I am running a game at 8 p.m. where you might have to go and fight something mythological and silly.
You're going to finally kill Loke?
Maybe.
Maybe Nigglewort?
Definitely Nigglewort.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I'll get better.
You got a lot of us coming thing. You'll probably find me and Loke running around doing some man on the street stuff. You never know with us, but it's Necronomicon. It's in Tampa. You got 23rd through the 25th of September. You guys don't want to miss it. With that being said, welcome back, Nigglewort. It's been a hot minute since we had you in here in studio with us.
Yeah, quite a few months.
Months. I think it's you were in season 1. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
It was early in season 1 too.
Still quite a few months.
I think it was like a year.
Locked in the extra bedroom in your house.
Hey. If you guys wouldn't have gotten out, we wouldn't have gotten a better quality studio, all right? If you'd have just stayed shackled, it'd have been fun. But it's fun having you back. I love having our friends back. We actually have a pretty good group of friends. And he's actually probably, I wouldn't call him the patriarch of our group. He's more like, he's like, oh man, how do I say this without getting like.
Old man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. He's the old man of the group. He's the fuddy-duddy, the kind of guy who just like...
Not fuddy-duddy.
Yeah, you're the only guy that I've ever wanted to counterspell from the bathroom just because it seemed like fun. It goes back to that Pillars of Chaos. And this is the guy that I was in there. I was in the bathroom of the shop that we played at. And I was like, counterspell. And they're like, that's not the enemy. I was like, I know. It's probably Nigglewort. So go ahead and counterspell him. He's on the same team.
Yeah.
But
That's because you're a dick.
Yeah, I am.
Not saying my rules. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, but it's one of those things when
But
you're.
it wasn't a Bolgg game, so it's okay.
Exactly.
I don't have that rule.
It's true. Yeah, that's right. Loke's rules say I can as long as it's towards Nigglewort. But he's still a wealth of knowledge. He's actually really good. He can recall rules from editions we don't even play anymore.
Well, yeah, that would be like first edition.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, tell us the times of ancient there, old man.
Well, I have been playing since 1975, so yeah, that's like when it started.
When it started, man, you were there with Gygax when he created it. You're like, all right, no, you don't want to use that. Use a D6 there. It seems a little bit more logical.
What's that? Choices? No, we're going to have 4 classes, and that's it.
Gygax says, but I want to have more. I think the players will really love it. No. Just do the 4. Just do the 4. So
All Nigglewort's fault.
it is. It's everything. Everything can be blamed off of Nigglewort.
It worked back then. We had more imagination.
Did you though? You play the same 3 characters all the time.
Okay, just because I have chosen to suppress some of that imagination.
Who's suppressing you? Who's suppressing you? We'll get the big stick
Loke.
out there. Loke's not
Loke,
suppressing
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Loke's got some of the most open rules out there. Like he really does. Like the only time he has to implement a rule is when something has become a little bit game breaking. Like
And repetitive over. When you're doing the same thing every single day over and over again.
okay, so yeah, he is actually repressing you because you do the same thing every day.
I don't. I pretty much mind my own business.
I don't think you do. You have actively gone at it. You think that I'm the bad one because I've actively tried to counterspell you from afar. You've actively gone out of your way to like mess up my plans, and I actually had good intentioned plans for once.
Oh my God.
This whole episode is just going to be the two of us arguing back and forth about who's the worst. This is why, if you looked at our Facebook posts and all our different ones, I was like, my nemesis is finally back, and we brought him back. It is, but it's actually, I think there's a lot of fun when you actually have like a friendly rivalry in a game, and I think it honestly builds stronger bonds. He's my best friend. That was like the running joke too
That
for
was
the
it,
like.
yeah.
It was the longest time.
Hey, best friend.
Hey, best friend. What's up, best friend? So. But I guess enough of this love-hate relationship between the pirate captain and Nigglewort, because we'll just throw him off the ship. But hey, we've got the 6th edition coming out, and
We have a
Unearthed Arcana.
D&D 1
Or one D&D.
or 1
1
D&D
D&D, yeah.
coming out.
D&D Evolution.
They are not officially not calling it 6th edition or 5.5 or
What are we hating against numbers now?
Yes.
D&D 2 Electric Boogaloo.
they're taking a page out of Microsoft. Just like Microsoft that used to be, Windows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they wait, we're coming out with these too often, so we need to remove the number.
Too often. What 5e's been out for what? Like
Yeah,
6,
10
7
years.
years, 10 years? Like that's not often, man. Like if you're doing, I don't mind. I'm going to call it
But
6th
see-
edition.
Yeah, but and that's what they're trying to get away from. And with what they're doing backwards compatible wise and that kind of stuff, it may be more of a replacement system rather than a new system.
New system, my ass, man. Like right now, they only got till 2nd level. You really can't replace IV if you're only doing 2 levels.
It's not coming out till the year after next.
Yeah.
This is play test right now.
You did tell me about a feature, and we'll get into that one a little bit, that I actually am excited about, something we've talked about before. But I think it's crazy that they're trying to call it something like, just let it be D&D 6th edition. Like, nobody, like, what's better branding? It's the PS5, not the Xbox. Everybody still is called, what's the new Xbox?
Series X.
Yeah, see, nobody.
Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S.
And S. Yeah.
Yeah, see? But PlayStation's like, no, we're just gonna keep going down the
Well,
count.
it's the Japanese.
Yeah, they're just holding on to basic counting, and Xbox is trying to be like extra. Like there's nothing. What the Xbox 360 did it ever like rotate in 360? No, it just had the red ring of death. That's the only reason I think they wanted to call it the 360.
I mean, we can't blanket the Japanese though, because look at Nintendo, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii, Switch.
You forgot the Wii U.
I want to forget the Wii U.
I like the Wii U. The Wii U had the Wind Waker.
It was a useless between.
Yeah, it was. But we've got the Unearthed Arcana. It only allows you to go to the 2nd level.
Well, it's character origin, so you're supposed to use the existing rules for everything else other than your race and your background. But the way they've reworked feats, they only give you the feats, because feats will now have levels. They only give you first level feats. So you can't play once you hit that fourth level where you'd get that second feat. That's not a first level feat. That data isn't there to play test.
Maybe you can't.
The new spell lists are only first level and cantrips. So once you hit, third level where you start getting second level spells, you can guess which ones would be on which spell list, because they've kind of simplified the spell lists.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we still have what is it? We have the 9 classes of magic. What is it?
Well, now they're condensing all magic into 3 spell lists. You got your arcane, your divine, and your primal.
So we're simplifying the game even further than what it already is. Yeah. And I this is an issue that a lot, and I get you're trying to get new players in, and I understand that, but maybe challenge them. And I know this is an ongoing argument we have here on this one, but I think that you're trying to simplify it too much, and now it's just going to be bland. That's the cool thing about being a wizard is you can be a necromancer, you can be a evocation wizard, an abjuration wizard. But now you're just, what are you going to be? Oh, I'm an arcane wizard. Okay, yeah, that's the idea.
Well, I think those subclasses of wizard will still be there.
But how? How are you going to do that?
They will still have the spells will still have the school or whatever it is underneath. But your list, instead of going to the wizards list or the warlocks list or the bards list, when you're picking your spells, they all share the same list now.
But
so things like Hex and Hellish Rebuke that were not on the wizards list or not on the bards list. A bard or a wizard can now learn those spells.
No.
Now, see, this is where this goes back, like in season. I mean, not season, but version 1. I mean, that's what you had. You had a spell list. Boom, that was a spell list. And you had a cleric spell list. You had a wizard spell list.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. And you would work around that just with your role playing as to how you played things. One thing, alignments played a lot more into the old games.
You will see a resurgence of alignments, I believe, in this edition.
Really?
That's what it looked like. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like you can't cast Hellish Rebuke if you're lawful good. Like I like that. It puts stipulation. There should be criteria for the things you do, because it shouldn't just be, well, I'm just walking down the day and I guess I cast Hellish Rebuke one day, even though I just helped Granny off across the road.
Yeah, we're kind of extrapolating, because all we have is the races and backgrounds. But in those races and backgrounds, your tiefling type is determined by which type of hell your ancestor came from, whether it's a lawful evil, neutral evil, or chaotic evil, determines what type of tiefling you are. There's a new race.
The add something.
Yeah, the new race of celestial.
I think we're kind of getting a little over. Like if we're gonna redo an edition, I think we just need to start back with the core races again and build back up.
Well, and that's
kind of what they're doing.
Kind of doing that, yeah.
They've just added one more race.
They've added a new race that kind of replaces the
Aasimar.
It's called the Ardling.
Ardling.
Yeah, the Ardling, which is basically
that sounds like a tree person right out the window.
Well, they have animal heads, so
that sounds exactly like a tree hugging hippie to me.
But they are basically the anti-tiefling. They are the celestial tiefling. There's 3 types: one from the lawful good plane, one from the neutral good plane, and one from the chaotic good plane.
Okay, so alignments. It sounds like I can see alignments coming back, and that'll be fun.
Extrapolating, we believe, because you don't have to be that. Like you could be a chaotic evil Ardling who has ancestry from the lawful good Ardling plane. You don't have to be that.
I guess it's on how. If you're going to be a chaotic evil, can you be chaotic evil and still do things that you believe are good? Can you just be, you think you're doing good, but you're actually chaotic evil? Think about it. Like if you're out there crusading, you think you're doing good. And that's where that kind of like alignment can kind of really...
It's all a subject of perspective where you are.
Yeah, and like I said, there is no new rules on alignment in this playtest. We're kind of just extrapolating based on what is here, that we believe you will see a resurgence of that in the new.
We've talked about alignment.
years from now.
We've talked about alignment before, and I don't think it gets enough play in the modern version, because you can really do it. Like, you could really go an entire thing without an alignment and be just fine. Like, you can create a character without an alignment and kind of like
5th edition intentionally went away from the alignment system.
So it sounds like 6th edition
Spells
is,
like protection from good and evil used to be alignment based, and now they're monster type based, where you're protecting from demons, undead, and those kind of things, not necessarily good or evil.
I see that it being a good thing, though, going just turning back into it, because if you're limited by what you can do because of how good or bad you are, I think that makes for better role play. Because think about it, you can't just go out there, and Hellish Rebuke's just the easiest one on my mind. You can't just go out there and be fighting for a god and cast a spell that's kind of sounds evil to begin with.
Well, it goes back to the homogenization of 5th edition. 5th edition was just trying to make everything a level playing field. And I think,
but you don't need a level playing. People need to be good at something.
I think that's where they're picking up and going into One D&D with that kind of mindset.
It's 6th edition. Don't call it One D&D. We're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one.
But the thing still stands, though. A DM could go, hey, if you want to use Hellish Rebuke, that's fine. Just call it like Celestial Bitch Slap or something. I don't know.
Well, and Hellish Rebuke is on the Arcane, not Divine list. So you have to be either a Wizard, Warlock, Bard.
What are the 3 classes in 6th edition?
The 3 spell lists are Arcane, Divine, and Primal. So Divine would be your Paladins and Clerics, and then Primal is going to be your Druids and Rangers.
So it's a triangle, but I feel like this triangle it needs to be kind of like a square.
Yeah, they're still short. They're still leaving off psionics.
Psionics, demonic. Like, there needs to be a wider range.
Divine
Originally, there was no psionics.
Yeah. I'm fine with getting rid of psionics, because I think psionics is a cheese way to play the game, because there's nothing that's essentially immune to psionics.
Well, when they first brought it out years ago, it was super powered because nobody could protect against it. And it's still pretty much the same.
And that's what I'm saying. I think I honestly would be fine if we got rid of psionics and moved back to like I said, demonic. Everything needs a foil. Okay, every class, and I think arcane and primal and divine and demonic that to me is great. It's a little square and it fits right there.
Divine includes demonic.
No, because divine is, if I'm thinking divine, I'm thinking that it's holy.
Well, you're thinking about the root
definition of it.
You've got to remember there are evil gods.
That's fine, and then they can be demonic.
That would be divine.
So, no, it needs a counterbalance. Okay, so divine, a triangle that's
it's just like bless and bane are both divine spells.
I just wanted to have.
Counter bless.
It's we call it what it really is. It's counter bane and counter bless, or anti bless and anti bane. Yeah. But it's regardless of it. I think if you just need that counter to it to make it kind of like something because arcane and primal are at the very ends of each other. One is innate natural ability versus one is kind of like a learned ability. So what would be the opposite of divine, which is holy? And just have demonic. It's not. Demonic.
Divine is coming from a higher power. So
demonic's a lower power because Cthulhu's not
that's still divine. He's a god.
Is he a god though?
Yes.
But think about it then. Warlocks. Not all warlocks have a divine patron. Some of them have genies and stuff like that.
Warlocks come off the arcane list, not.
Yep.
The
but that's not
list.
They're more primal because theirs is a power gained from something. Theirs is not innately learned.
Yeah, but no, primal in this is going to be the druids and rangers, true nature-based, animal-based spells.
Yeah, that's okay. I can give you primal.
Elemental.
I think that primal though is more like your sorcerers too. It's innate natural. It's the innate natural ability to draw the mana from around you.
Yeah, and they're still
where they're
arcane
getting their
in
magic
this.
is not the issue. what type of spells they do.
That
is
would
the
still be
issue.
primal because those are spells that you're doing from nature,
See-
which is primal magic. When I think of primal magic, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, see, no, and this primal is first level primal spells are like animal friendship, create, destroy water, cure wounds, detect magic, detect poison and disease, ensnaring strike, entangle, fairy fire, fog cloud, good
not
berry.
even- I wouldn't even consider
They're
that
all
really
nature-based.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
all
they're
nature-based.
nature-based, but that's not really.
That
Well,
is
maybe
what
they
they're
don't
That's
call
such
it
a-
primal. Maybe they should call it nature.
Yeah, that would be better. Like that would make it more sense to call it
Go ahead
nature-based
and
magic.
put that in your report. Look.
Well, that's I mean, that kind of what primal is.
Primal. If I'm
is
thinking of
the-
it's ancient magic or magic that's innately is innate in you, not innately learned. That's the arcane. When I think of arcane, I'm thinking of wizards and artificers, guys who had to go out and study and learn something, and that's arcane.
Yeah, but
You're connecting. You're connecting the ether. It's not connected through you.
yeah, in this playtest, sorcerers, warlocks, bards, wizards are all arcane.
Which is dumb because
They say that there will be, when the subclasses one comes out, they said there will be some subclasses that allow some kind of cross list, special circumstance.
I think that I mean
And for one of the things that is conspicuously absent from the arcane list, which is the warlock list, the cantrip Eldritch Blast is no longer on the cantrip list.
and I'm super excited about
So,
that, but I still want to. I
yeah.
want to. I want to
But
get
again,
into that.
again,
but
until the class thing comes out, we don't know what's going to happen with that.
no more bards stealing.
But
my
they
spell.
but that also means that if it's not on that list, that's not available for people who take the feat. Magic Initiate will no longer be able to take that because it's not a cantrip.
We could get rid of that feat.
Yeah.
We can get rid of that feat. That'd be fine.
Well,
Actually, that feat is
that feat is one of the first level feats now.
It's actually becoming
a background.
automatic. It's part of a background now.
Yeah, everybody gets a feat as part of their background now, and one of they take away the background feature that you get in the current edition,
But I
and
like
they
the
replace it with a
backgrounds.
feat.
I would rather have the backgrounds than try to make it into a feat because there's something like being a background of like a seafarer and stuff like that really works out because it kind of like it doesn't take away from having to like be locked into one single little feat. You're just kind of you're a seafarer. You're good at being on a boat.
In this new rules, the backgrounds are the custom background is the primary. All the pre-written ones are if you're being lazy, basically.
But the good thing about these new backgrounds, the really good thing, is that they change your attributes, which they don't in 5e.
Yeah, you don't get your pluses and minuses from your race anymore. They come from your background.
I don't like that though. I think that there are things that orcs do better than us humans. And I think that there are elves that do better than even the orcs.
Well, you do
no
still
offense
get other
there, buddy.
things.
No offense.
Yeah.
Like dwarves now get a tremor sense. So if they're standing on stone, they can tremor sense with.
That's
and
okay. Like there's
so
got to be
they
something.
They
want,
do still get stuff from their race, but the pluses and to the ability score pluses no longer come from race. They come from the background. Your background is 100. Like I said, the custom background is the primary. So basically, you can assign your pluses to whatever you want.
So what I'm seeing is we're probably looking at you're no longer building off a class. You're actually building off a background. Does that make sense to me?
Yeah,
Or
kind of makes sense
The-
because
the-
the backgrounds
I think
don't
which
get
is
enough oomph to them as it is.
Yeah,
right, and I think that's cool.
Actually, the way this is worded in the playtest, you're supposed to pick your class first before your race and background.
No,
And then that is the way the playtest worded.
No, I think that's ass backwards.
Because
I don't even.
then
I don't
you
even
will know
pick-
where you're
I don't
putting
even
your
pick class.
plus. That's where you know.
I don't even pick class first. I don't, and I think that's just going to shoehorn. You're almost shoehorning players into playing a game where they're trying to optimize instead of play for fun.
Yeah.
So I think that you should pick your race first,
So-
or maybe actually start with a background.
You want to know what the sailor background now looks like?
Yeah, sure.
And these are sample backgrounds, so you can change out any of these because the model is basically you get a +1 and a +2 to a stat. You get 2 skill proficiencies, a tool proficiency, a language, and a feat.
Ooh.
So the sailor background, their example one, you get +2 to dexterity, +1 to wisdom, acrobatics and perception as your skill proficiencies, navigator's tools as your skill proficiency, primordial
tool.
as your language, and tavern brawler as your feat.
Oh, hell yeah. That just sounds right up my alley.
I
All
can
right,
see the
6th
tavern
edition.
brawler for you, but
you
not
get
the
on
plus
top-
to wisdom.
Shut up. No one
On
asked
top
you.
of whatever equipment you get from your class, you get a dagger, fishing tackle, navigator's tools, silk rope, traveler's clothes, and 10 gold pieces.
I'm going to tell you, silk rope doesn't sound that long. Can I get the or sound that good? Can I get the hemp rope?
Actually, yeah, and that's the other thing. These these equipment packages that come from the backgrounds have been tweaked so they all have exactly the same dollar or gold piece amount. And so yes, you could swap out any items on it.
So there's no benefit of being like a noble background anymore, which is
No.
nice.
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of like that
all
because the
ba-
nobles kind of cheat.
Yeah, all backgrounds follow the same rules.
Money.
Yeah,
It's less the money than the connection.
it's the money. It's straight up the money. Having like 10 gold and just kind of being like richer. Just being rich in D&D is a lot more useful than being connected because I can buy connections.
And actually, the crafter background,
Yeah.
you want to get rich. That crafter background, one of the things it's giving you is like a 20. You get the crafter feat. I'm sorry, not crafter background. The crafter feat.
What's the crafter feat?
The
'Cause-
crafter feat will give you, skill proficiencies in some crafting tools. But one of the things it gives you is a 20% discount on all non-magical
Oh,
purchases.
That's cool. I like that.
So
that
so
20%.
That plate armor just got a lot cheaper.
I mean,
You automatically haggle down. Yeah, that's
I
pretty cool.
already
Yeah.
know the best way to get whatever I want anyway. So we've talked about that in a previous episode. I can't bring it up again because there are DMs out there that are probably like, "Shut up! No one needs to know about that trick." That +3 buckler. But I like the idea of the backgrounds now. Like it honestly seems a little bit better because then you're building your class more around the backgrounds. I think you should start with the background first. Yeah. What did you do before you were an
adventurer?
An adventurer, yeah. How did you? Because now that'll explain why you are. So if you take for some reason the magic initiate and you're a rogue, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like why? How did you get from A to B? I think picking your class first is kind of bass backwards.
Yeah, it and like I said, that may be changed because that's the wording they have here, but yet they still give this one first and haven't given that one as the play test yet. So
it's almost like we've played games with people that have like, what class are you? Oh, I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
And
that is one of
farmer
the sample.
is a really good background too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the sample backgrounds they give is the farmer.
I want to see. Okay, what's up with the farmer?
The farmer gets great stuff.
Yeah. I grow tulips. I'm sorry, that's an amphibia reference. It was a good show.
Farmer, here's the farmer. +2 to Constitution, +1 to Wisdom, animal handling and nature proficiency, skill proficiencies, carpenter tools, skill proficiency, the additional language of halfling, the feat of tough.
What the hell does halfling?
They get tough automatically.
Tough is great, but what the hell does being able to talk to halflings have like?
Well,
Halfling-
everybody will have basically 3 languages. You're going to have everybody gets common by default. Then you will get whatever your racial language is,
Okay.
and then whatever comes from your background.
Okay, it's just really weird that halflings are
Yeah.
the
Well,
ones.
it's still the Tolkien-esque good gardeners taking care of the land, that type of thing.
And the thing
No
with
one
these all
talks to
being
halflings.
customizable, you can be a farmer and swap halfling for orc if orcs are the farmers in your world. If it makes sense in the background of your world that would be the language a farmer would speak.
Okay.
They're custom. They're 1-for-1 swaps.
6th edition ain't looking so bad now. I give it that. I'm quite impressed. Hands
Okay.
up there, wizards.
Do you want me to turn you the other way now? Because
I don't know,
There are
'cause-
some stuff in here that's.
I'm gonna tell you, it's already got me sold on these. These
I like
backgrounds.
the backgrounds are definitely a good
Backgrounds are
selling
the best
point.
part of it. Yeah.
And I like the idea that Eldritch Blast is going to be hopefully a warlock only thing.
Yeah.
And that to me is great because there ain't no stinking bards taking my goddamn ability.
Yeah, and some of these languages that they have on, they've added common sign language. They've added things.
I like that.
Druid speech and thieves' cant are actually languages you could get in your background now.
No.
You could get it from the criminal background before.
That's
So-
even then. I think like to be a thieves can't. Well, the criminal it makes sense because that's in a background. But I don't think that if you don't have, you have to have a criminal
Well,
background.
it would be coming from your background, so you
You
would have to
can't-
have a reason in your background.
What
to
are you,
put
a
that
dirty
there.
farmer? And you're like, all right, man, I'm going to sell you these potatoes under the lamb.
What
These
if
are
you- what if
illegal
you were a
potatoes.
Undercover police officer.
As a farmer, that
No,
better be a
no,
background though.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if that was your background, yeah, you'd probably speak thieves can't.
You gonna buy these potatoes? Yeah, I'll buy these potatoes. Well, too bad, cause I'm a cop. Ah, God, not again.
You actually
Yeah.
pulled out your wallet.
Yes.
But yeah, they've redone quite a few things though to work with this new background system. None of the first level feats give you a stat bonus,
Okay.
so none of them are the half feats.
All right. Now,
Um,
now do your best. You said you're gonna say something that's gonna make me mad.
Okay.
What do you got?
Well, one of the things they've done is they've combined the skill checks, abilities checks, attack rolls, all those things you'd roll a D20 for in the past that had separate rules into a single rule called the D20 test.
Nope. Nope. All right, 6th edition. You're off. You're off. All right, taking you.
And they specifically say in there that no D20 test should ever have a passing score of less than a 5 or greater than a 30.
Nope. Sometimes there are things that are just not meant to be done.
Well, and they're saying you shouldn't be asking for a roll for those, is what they're saying.
That's not.
Yeah,
That's not.
The DM just should say, no, that's impossible. You can't do that.
No. You got to give the players the chance to fail.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Here's the thing. Also, all natural ones on D20 tests are failures. All natural 20s on D20 tests are successes.
Nope. No.
A success doesn't necessarily mean what happens is what you wanted to happen.
Bingo.
See, that comes down to the DM now.
Yeah.
They can say,
It's-
okay,
it's
well,
putting it on
that
the DM.
succeeded, but the door's still not opening.
Yeah. See, sometimes there are just things that can't be done. You can't obviously
You
go
broke
try.
the lock. Good job. Now it's
Yeah.
stuck.
No, it's
Yeah.
stuck, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like that to me.
Oh, okay. You ready for the big one?
All right. So you got the magic that's already pissed me off, and now you got the guy. You got the stupid.
Crits.
Oh man.
Guess who can't crit anymore?
The DM?
Exactly.
No.
Guess what also
No.
doesn't crit anymore?
Players?
Spells.
Okay.
Or abilities.
Spells never really critted anyway.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
I
oh,
like
no.
spells critting.
Spells never really
spells
critted.
like that had a 2-hit could crit.
Yeah.
Abilities
Yeah,
like
how many are there?
abilities
two-hit
like
spells?
the
I had-
backstab and the sneak attack, whatever they call it these days.
Sneak
It
attack,
used to
yeah.
be called backstab.
Assassinate. Sneak
Okay,
attack. Yeah.
backstab.
Smite. Smite's a spell. You can no longer that's no longer applicable for crits.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
only melee and unarmed strikes and weapon attacks
Yeah.
currently crit.
All right, to hell with you, 6th edition. You done pissed me off.
I knew this was going to kill you.
Yeah.
Bro, there's-
Now,
there are some
in their
things-
defense, this is still play test. It may not be this way when it reaches. If enough people fill out the survey saying they don't like it, obviously, it'll never reach the books.
Yeah.
But,
All right, if you're playtesting this right now, I want you to listen to the old pirate captain and his words of wisdom. You don't let any of this garbage go through, all right? You keep the backgrounds and tell them everything else, minus the the Eldritch Blast being for warlocks only. Everything else has got to go. That's just dumb.
I kind
Well,
of
there are other good stuff in there too, but
There-
I figured that one would get you.
There's
It
there's
does.
another one that really bugs me.
Okay. I don't care.
Halflings,
I like it already.
dwarves, Halflings, dwarves, their speeds
Yeah. All
30.
base
Bump up to
speed is
30.
30 feet.
Everybody's
No.
And humans, tieflings, and ardlings can be small size. They don't have to be
Oh yeah,
medium-sized
you
creatures.
can decide.
Yeah,
your
that
own
we call
size.
those
That's cool.
dwarves.
Yeah.
or children. If they're children,
But
why
they
are
still have a
adventuring?
30-foot movement.
What's a child out there on an adventuring party?
Yeah.
Right. That's my point. If you're
This is stupid.
Yeah, but
This
they,
is
they are
dumb.
they are options in the rules. Whether
No.
your DM lets you do them or not, that's another story. But
If you're a DM and you allow a halfling to move as much as as a human, we're gonna have a problem. All right, we'll go out there and test this right now. You're gonna give 6 seconds to each person. We're gonna see if a child can run near as far as I can. All right,
Yeah.
That's the idea behind this.
Yeah, but that is.
I've got a granddaughter.
It's more
I could
for
do it.
I doubt it.
more
I'm
for
a
game
full-grown
balancing,
man.
I guess, is why they're doing it. Because that way,
What's it to be balanced? There are things that certain races just do better
actually,
than
wait,
other
there
races.
is one race that does have a speed advantage. Hold on, I believe
Yeah,
I'm
probably like
double-
Tabaxi or
Don't-
something.
Don't
I believe the Wood
Wood
Elves,
Elves, yeah.
still
Still
get
have 35.
Still
35.
get 35, yeah.
Bolg, I'm sorry, man. I'm with you. I don't think the Dirty Nasty Elves should get a bonus like that. If they're moving up the other guys, then
they have
those guys
to be
have
able to get away from Bolg in this pot.
Well, speaking of Bolg, for the first time I think ever, Orc is actually going to be a core race.
Hooray!
Because they're getting
It should have always
the-
been a core
yeah,
race.
They are modifying the way half races are handled. Basically, they've got rules how you could be you can make a dwelf, you can make an orc,
I don't-
dwarf.
I'm
dork.
sorry, but I don't see. I don't see
They've got
dorks.
they've got rules on how to
Be
combine.
an orc elf.
Oh, it's something like
Orf calling Orson.
Like
Orf calling Orson.
ancestry. What's the thing about ancestry? Because, like, you could be an elf,
Yeah. So
and then with drow ancestry,
yeah, but
or
basically what the way the half breed stuff would work is you pick whichever your parents are, an orc and a human for half orcs.
This sounds like that
And
one
then-
game you were telling me about.
Then you pick which of the two parents' racial rules you want to apply to your character, and then the mixing. You can the green skin from the orc, the round.
Let's have
the
fun
teeth
with
from
genetics.
the human. You basically the cosmetic stuff that doesn't actually affect the game. You get to pick and mix and match the way you want.
I think that the cosmetics of your character do affect the game.
Right.
though.
Well, I'm just saying how those blend from your human to your orc is up to the player.
you go in and if
But
you're,
they use just the rules of either the orc or the human when creating their character.
Well, I think the cosmetics of the character do matter though, because think about it. If you have, I don't know, we're gonna make up a character that's butt ugly. I don't know. Let's call him Niggleward or something like that.
I figured we'd call him the pirate captain.
The pirate. That could be anybody, and he's beautiful in his own right. But if he's butt ugly and he goes up to barter with somebody, I think genetics matter. I like it, but it just seems like now you're trying to. You guys take biology in high school and you had to do like the squares with the genetics. Now you got to figure out what's the dominant trait. Are orcs the dominant species? Was it because he was your dad, or was it being domed by a mom? I don't know.
It also takes away some of the agency that the DM has to make things more difficult for certain races.
But that's the idea.
no,
like
it doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
It
no,
doesn't
Yes, it
at all.
does.
you could now make a half orc who looks completely human, but has all the benefits of being an orc.
Right. So instead of being called an abomination for being a half orc, he gets away with it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because
That-
you can pick to look exactly like your one parent and have the stats of the other.
Yeah, but that's a long line of like breeding out the orc that's in you. So now orc honestly becomes a recessive gene, and therefore you don't get all the fun. Yeah, see,
But
this is going to be fun with biology now. This
This is,
actually
yeah.
might be a little bit fun.
But
Yeah,
it's,
but they're quick and easy. Again, they're simplifying things. They allow you to do combinations that are not just human with another race. They allow you to combine any two races that are in the book following these simple rules.
I don't.
But like I said, there are easy abuses.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that they're trying
But
to do, 5e really expanded the player base.
it did.
Okay, it more than any time in history, 5e has expanded the player base. However, I think they're trying to push it back a little bit more towards role playing instead of.
Well, and they're
But
also
min-maxing
trying.
and-
But I think that
As we've discussed on our previous show, the Orcs Racist, I think they're trying to remove anything from a racial stigma, anything that's racial based as far as prejudice or
that's real
those kind
life.
I think
yeah.
they're pushing
That's
those all
real life.
into the background as cultural rather than
Oh, so now we get to hate on somebody because their culture sucks, not because
Yes.
They suck. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely solving a problem right there.
Yeah, but you're not hating them because they're an orc. You're hating them because they're an orc who comes from a savage tribe who butchers people.
Okay, all halflings are not thieves. All elves deserve to die if you're a dwarf.
Yeah. You're
Actually,
taking out.
You read the halfling background, right? I mean, the halfling race, right? Their description.
You can't choose one.
They've given them the naturally stealthy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they automatically get the free proficiency in stealth as a halfling. But they've taken all references out of them being natural thieves.
That takes.
out of their race
You're
description.
You can't have one and not the other. If you're gonna have things based on culture, there has to be racial stereotypes attached to that because that's real life.
Yeah, that's actual that's the thing. Like you're gonna go look out and you know that halflings are shady little bastards, so you don't trust your wallet around them. And beautiful pirate captains are ship sailing,
By the way, you want your
seafaring
wallet
heroes. You're on the other side of the glass. How did you get that?
Stealthy.
He's an old man too. It's crazy. And so I didn't hear his creaking bones.
Something that can be fun during role play is taking something like a big, strong, scary-looking orc and making him loved by everyone by being the best chef around.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Beautifully dumb. But it's
beautifully dumb for sure.
But I think that, and Loke, you were saying that it's like and you guys are trying to say that they're trying to get back to role playing, but I think that's not. I think if you eliminate rules to try and go to the role playing, you're taking it out for the players that are just playing for the rules, that they enjoy the rules of the game.
Well, the rules are still there. They're just
but they're not. But there's not as much. If you're trying to shoehorn into for players to go in and go, well, now we want you to role play the situation. No, man. Let some people just want to play the game because they enjoy the combat system. And if you're simplifying the combat system, now you're taking it away from the players that are like.
I don't think there's any changes to combat in there.
You're simplifying your crits.
Actually, unarmed strike changed a lot.
Is it good?
The unarmed strike and grappling rules that have changed are I like.
Yeah.
That might make Baka happy.
I think
like for example, to grapple is first an unarmed strike, and then you choose if you're doing damage with your unarmed strike or grappling with your unarmed strike.
I like that. Are they upping the damage of unarmed strike?
Not without things like Tavern Brawler or.
Yeah, so you'll get it automatically.
See, that should automatically be a D4. I'm sorry, punching somebody can hurt.
Yeah, but it's got to be.
strength,
You got to have a modifier to it, because it goes back to that argument we've made about like the pixie shooting through the wall, like a pixie with 20 strength. The size matters.
Well, then,
so that's what I'm saying. Like you should have the modifier.
Then unarmed should also be finesse.
Yeah, I think you should be able to. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that you should be able to choose which modifier.
Because you might not be very strong, but if you can hit the kidney every single time you're striking, it's going to hurt.
Actually, the new unarmed strike rules work very well with the way the wording currently is for a monk.
Yeah.
That he could use the dex with the unarmed strikes instead of strength.
I think that's. I've always thought.
But then he also gets the monk.
Well, yeah, the monk martial arts makes unarmed strikes dex based.
Hopefully they'll be able to fix the scaling issue with monks on that one then, because the monks towards later game.
Yeah, after.
But yeah,
6th, 7th, you're done with.
Yeah, you can't unless you're fighting with weapons.
Yeah. Well, now the monks will be able to use like the grapple and shove mechanics that are part of the new unarmed strike.
That's really cool because that can make them more like a monk, a support character a little bit. Like they're there to like help fight with the barbarians and the fighters versus like them trying to be upfront fighters. They're great lower levels. They do amazing things at lower level, and then they just pitter patter out.
It's also made armor class more important because for an unarmed strike now, a grapple and a shove are all unarmed strikes.
Yeah.
So if you want to grapple somebody who is in armor, you first must hit their armor class. So it's
maybe
that makes sense.
I guess, but I don't know.
And
because because you have, it's probably, if you ask me, I think it's easier to grapple somebody that's got a lot of armor on that can't move around near as much versus it is somebody who can fight back a little bit more. Because think about it, heavy armor is bulky to move in, right? And we can all agree that it takes a little bit to move your shoulders and stuff like that. So I think it's easier to grapple somebody who can't move a whole lot versus somebody who can move a whole lot.
Well, I mean,
good suit of armor should be movable in.
Plate armor? Have you ever seen?
They should be able to. I mean, you got to be able to jump up onto your horse and stuff in that plate. You should be able to move in that plate armor.
There is no jumping up on your horse.
You have to. You get on, and then they attach your armor to you.
You step up.
You step up, and then you have a squire that comes in, and they put the armor on.
You don't
top
literally
of you.
jump, but you have to be able to. I mean, you have to be able to move in plate armor.
That's what I'm saying.
In
It's
combat.
hard. It's hard enough to move already.
But like things like trying to do an arm bar to somebody whose arm is braced by his armor. You're not going to bend an elbow backwards on somebody in an arm.
It also works. It also works against like highly dexterous people, where that's where they get their AC. Because just walking up and saying, "Okay, I'm going to grapple him," and use a strength check, well, of course they're going to fail.
Yeah,
but
they're
faster than you.
I don't think it's
and they take away the athletics and acrobatics.
I don't
proficiency being added to the grapple escape. It's a straight strength.
I don't think that it should be against you. I think it you should have at least advantage if you're trying to grapple somebody in plate armor versus like grappling somebody like. If I'm grappling a rogue versus a fighter, like a rogue in just medium armor versus a fighter in full plate, I'm probably going to have an easier time grappling the plate armor guy because he can't move near as much.
That's not true.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
I've fought in plate armor IRL, and it's easy enough to move around once you're used to it.
Yeah, but you're still going to... Who is it easier? If you're fighting 10th level characters, all right, and you got the monk that's coming up, I think the monk's going to have an easier time trying to grapple a guy in plate armor versus the rogue.
Well, and that's where your proficiency modifiers and those kind of things come in to make those adjustments.
I think it's easier to grapple. It's a cool change. I'll give you that. I think that's actually a pretty decent change.
But also, the shove is now part of that same unarmed strike.
Which I like shove.
Instead of doing damage, you can choose
if you're at the
to either push them 5 feet away or knock them prone.
Knock them prone all day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're at the edge of a cliff.
So now a monk.
No, I want to knock them prone.
Now a monk in his first attack goes ahead and knocks them prone and then does a flurry of blows. He now has advantage on all those blows.
So he sacrifices the main attack, but then his flurry of blows all have advantage.
Yeah.
And more likely to hit.
So the way this striking, grappling,
that brings more
shoving
strategy.
system works.
I like that.
Makes the monk more a feasible character,
or even fighters with multiple attacks,
or with tavern brawlers, or
Yeah.
Now tavern brawler, they did take the improvised weapon away.
No,
and now they have.
Well,
they've replaced it with there are furniture rules. If it's a small piece of furniture, you use a club, and if it's a large piece of furniture, you use a great club. And instead of giving you because that way you can no longer use a piece of paper to strike somebody as an improvised weapon.
If I was a DM and you told me you were striking somebody with a piece of paper, I'm gonna tell you no.
Yeah,
like as a DM.
But as the rules as they were written, the rules were as they were written. I'm gonna pick up this playing card and I'm gonna toss it and cut his arm.
Yeah, as a DM, I'm gonna tell you no way in hell.
Yeah, I got the tavern brawler improvised weapon proficiency.
Cool. DM trumps all.
They kind of fixed the wording. You can still pick up a mug, and it would count. It would do the damage of a small club. You pick up a table, and it would do the damage of a great club. You still have that tavern brawler feel.
If you want to know what a good tavern brawler weapon is, go watch a Friday the 13th movie. Jason does it all the goddamn time.
Nah, if you really want to go watch Roadhouse. That's the ultimate tavern brawler movie.
He's a monk, though.
He is a monk, but he's still got the tavern brawler feat. Actually, if you really want to know a great tavern brawler movie, I would say Happy Gilmore. When he breaks the bottle and he goes, I wasn't getting ready to fight him. I was just looking for the other half of my beer bottle.
And actually,
anything by Jackie Chan.
One of their goals, according to the video when they released this with the new feats, is they wanted to make feats like the tavern brawler, who you would think would fit with a monk.
Yeah.
But they got no benefit from in the old edition.
Yeah.
They tried to make the rule changes so those there would be something for a monk to take tavern brawler.
I mean,
why would you want to take it, man? You're a better brawler without it.
Well, because once you're
that's why they've changed.
It's a monk weapon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so picking up a stool, you now hit him with a D12.
I don't know.
That's why I like monks.
Can I kick a table and it count as like let's say I'm at the end of the room and I know kick the table across the room and it's going to do great damage.
Or you know,
now, is that
a guy to the wall.
Yeah, is that dex check or is it going to be a finesse weapon now?
You're gonna have to hit its AC and then shove it.
And then what the table does damage. Now it's got to roll against your AC too. And
So
now all of a sudden the table's an NPC.
Here's the new Tavern Brawler feat. They have enhanced unarmed strike, which is basically what it was before, where you get a D4 plus your strength mod for your unarmed strikes. They also give you, when you roll a damage reroll, when you roll a damage die for your unarmed strike, you re-roll that if it's a 1. So if a monk takes Tavern Brawler, their unarmed strikes re-roll 1s now. So there is a benefit to a monk taking the Tavern, because, and like I said, the intent, they did something similar with the healer feat, where they've done stuff to make it where a life cleric has a reason to take the healer feat.
Well, I mean, I made a monk that was a maid, and she took Tavern Brawler because she was human variant, took it in the beginning, because she used, household items to fight with.
Yeah, and Tavern Brawler also, your shove can be a part of your unarmed strike, and shove them to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Or prone as part of the same damaging strike. So they have that advantage.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's I guess it's cool to give monks that. I don't know. You're just gonna go in and catch these. It makes it more fun if you're gonna play a drunken master monk, which they need to kind of like redo a little bit. Yeah. And I think that'll be fun because what do you do? I get in bar fights all the time.
Yeah, and like I said, it gives before there was absolutely no reason. There was no benefit to a monk taking Tavern Brawler.
Yeah, there was. I just want to throw shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the main advantage of taking Tavern Brawler as a monk was being Jackie Chan and just picking something up and smacking.
Wasn't it Way of the Keen say anything I touch becomes
no?
But that's just it. Monks had that already in certain subclasses.
Yeah, there's ones that like anything I touch is a weapon of mass destruction.
Well, Kensei, you actually have to select the weapon and it. There's certain rules to it. I like the UA version better because I like the idea of a monk taking a great sword and just spinning around.
Sir, do you know why we can't let you on this flight? It's because my hands, isn't it, man? Yes, sir.
I knew a Kensei kind of in real life in Society for Creative Anachronism. This guy was Duke Bertrand. He would get in a fight with a guy in plate mail who had a big old tower shield and everything else. He would jump up about 4 feet in the air and just, because he used a katana, and just smack it down on top of the guy's head. There was no way to block it. The guy was that good with the sword.
Yeah,
that's why he was king 3 times.
Yeah.
So
I think there are some really cool things coming to 6th edition, but I don't know. There's just enough to like say no, I'm not ready for this.
I encourage all our listeners to go down now. Something we haven't talked about yet with the One D&D Beyond announcement stuff is, one, you can't get this PDF on Wizards' website like you can a normal UA. You have to go to D&D Beyond to get this.
I mean, isn't D&D Beyond owned by Wizards?
They are now, yes.
So that's like you're really like circumnavigating here.
Well, they've announced, for example, starting with this new Dragonlance book coming out in December, they're going to have bundles where you get the digital copy on D&D Beyond when you buy the book.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. But that's also going to do a lot of these third-party apps that we use for things like our character sheets and those kind of things.
They're going to be obsolete.
If you get the player's handbook, when you buy the new player's handbook, you unlock all the D&D features for a player's handbook. You can then build the characters on D&D Beyond without these third-party apps.
This is kind of shiesty because then it's going to make you have to go buy books again.
They're also talking about all that online.
Yeah, they
miniature stuff that you're playing.
They are
playing it online
in pre-alpha on their own version of like a Roll20 or a Fantasy Grounds or
Yeah, that I still like playing around with that one I've been playing on. You see the guy over at.
They include in their event. They included some video footage of what the pre-alpha looks like.
It looks pretty cool.
And I think it could be
fun.
harmful to the tabletop game.
Yeah,
it could.
I could definitely see it, but I think it'll be good too, because then you can also have a video game sense. Like you can see things more in real time for those who are terrible with imagination. Let's just make up an imaginary person who's terrible with imagination. I don't know. We'll call him Niggleward or something.
We'll call him Captain.
I'm just saying, you create the same character 30 times. Imagination problem.
But now,
right there.
The pacifist paladin.
He was brilliant.
He was a killer.
This game had a very low threshold for entry, where paper, pencil, and knowing somebody with the book and dice.
Or just knowing how to Google, but
could get you into the hobby, and then over time you build your own collection, your own blah blah blah. But now, if to play, you're really going to have a monitor showing this, electronic tabletop instead, virtual tabletop.
I don't think you will. I think you'll always be able to revert back, because you can create a character sheet.
Yeah,
you can. I can create a character sheet off of Excel that everybody uses, and very simply, but. To have the tabletop, it's just something. I think it's a quality of life feature. It's one of those things that you can deal without, but it's nice to have that you have it. Because think about it now, you can flip if you can build a really cool table that has a screen at the bottom, everybody can see what you see. Right. And then everybody kind of plays on that, and I think that's a brilliant way to have like a little bit of fun. You have the map all designed out, so I think that's actually pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be the end. I think it's just a quality of life feature.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it's better to play that way, that's going to be the way everybody wants to play. That's going to there's a cost to that. You can't do that for free.
Yeah, if you can, you can. But I'm not saying. I think the shiesty part about all of this is that you would have to buy the books again, because how many books do we already own? We own pretty much every one of us at least has at least 7 books, right?
I think that's what they're doing here with the One D&D. Instead of being 6th edition, I think they're going to pull what they pull with Mordekaisen's the Monsters of the Multiverse, with how it replaced Volo's Guide to Monsters and what was the other one? I'm blanking. It replaced 2 books. Those books are now out of print. You can no longer get the information on D&D Beyond. You have to buy the Monsters of the Multiverse.
Joke's on them. I already got Mordekaisen's Tome of Foes.
Right, but if you want to build those characters on D&D Beyond, you have to either buy that race as a piecemeal or the Multiverse Monster book as a whole in order to use those races in the D&D Beyond app.
This is why I think Roll20's kind of got it. Like you can just you kind of pay for some of the bonus features of it, and you don't really pay for. You can go in and do all that stuff, because that's how the guys over at God Mode plays. They do it through Roll20, and he goes in and he builds his own stuff. And I don't see the purpose of putting things like that. That's a quality, and that's where I guess your quality of life. And I could see what you're saying.
And see, D&D Beyond doing things this way. Only the DM, like when you're in a group, only one person in the group has to actually own the book to have access to it.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if I were running a campaign and included the Dungeons Master Guide and Player's Handbook, all my players wouldn't have to buy it.
Right.
But that's putting that cost onto the DM. So then he's, I'll charge my players, but you don't want to charge your friends. That's not,
Bull crap, I'm charging you guys to use the room across from me. No. I think that if it honestly will bring players somewhat together. Somebody buys a book and they, you just give one player, because, all right, think about it. We have show email and stuff like that. We each have the access to the show email, and we just share that account. It's gonna come honestly backfire a little bit.
There are limits, like it's like up to 8 or something that you can share it with.
I think it's going to backfire on D&D Beyond in them, because I think like you're going to end up seeing guys that are sharing the information and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, right. But if all, like, for example, you have 8 people in a game, and the player's handbook and DM's manual are on Joe's account, and Joe leaves that game, those books go with him. All the people in that game, somebody else has to go and buy that
Yeah.
or add somebody with those books. So it's not an unlimited. You use it forever.
Well, as long as when you buy the new books, you get your own code. Like you should still be responsible as a player and have your own stuff. Like it's nice to count on other people for things. And I'm not saying I'm not going to name out this guy. You know, we can make up another imaginary name this time, and then we'll call him Baka, who just happens to borrow everybody else's things. It doesn't own a thing. You know that it's going to hurt him more than it's going to hurt us. Versus the other way around, so it actually makes.
But it's also going to hurt the young high school kids that don't have.
But you still have access.
Yeah.
You may not be able to play the latest version, but you're going to still have access to older versions, and you can.
Well, that's just it. Now, when this new edition comes out in 24, they will remove the 3rd edition Player's Handbook from print, probably.
You're still going to be able to get back copies everywhere.
Yeah, but you will no longer be able to get it on the D&D Beyonds or the because. Yeah, they're going to force you to move.
So you're saying, as a player, you might have to be resourceful
and buy new books. Yeah, which is good business.
It's a good business strategy. But I think that as a player, you're going to have to be resourceful and have to get the. You're going to have to get whatchamacallit. I don't know. Just go find. There's PDF versions everywhere. You can legitimately find. Like I can probably Google now.
There's probably going to be another black market of people who like buy the books and it's like, I'm not going to play online. I'm going to play with my friends. Here, I'll sell this code for way less than the book's of value.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, eBay is you're gonna be banking off it. I think that I don't think you're giving enough credit to people who really truly want to play the game. I think that you're just kind of looking at it as an old school cat.
Right now, yes, but like I'm trying to look at things like. It becomes so easy to build your characters and do all this that we do with these third-party apps now on D&D Beyond. So how many of these third-party apps are going to just go out of business, go away?
How many?
And then,
how much
then once D&D has everybody on it, on their D&D Beyond, what's stopping them then from
Well, it goes back to
increasing the pricing and
yeah. Well, here's what I'm saying: is go back to the old school ways of doing it and put it on pen and paper. Man, it's still one of my favorite ways to have character sheets. Like I have my laptop because it's easier because we have so many players, but I can build an entire character sheet off an Excel spreadsheet. And if you need help with that, maybe that's something I need to build it up and put together.
Well, I can build a spreadsheet build a character sheet out of a sheet of paper.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Back in the day, it was only 3 books, 3 paperback books. And it was for those people, I think back in TSR days, they did it for the love of just creating.
Yeah.
Now it's big business.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Thanks,
and that's what gets me a little leery. Short term, it's going to be good. Nice advantage. You get the bundle. You get things,
No comments on inflation or anything, but I have in my hands the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition Skills and Powers book. This, if they were to release this right now, would be a full price book, $50.
Yeah.
$20. $20 at time.
Yeah, no. Well, that's inflation. It just happens over time. The dollar, as the more money enters the world, the currency value changes, and that's fine. But I think that we've gotten too reliant, and we've had this argument before. We've gotten too reliant on technology that we require these apps to do these things that we forget sometimes that like Niggleward says that he started off with pen and paper. Yeah. You can create a sheet if you can see it online. And I'm sure somebody's going to have a picture of one that you can see online, and you just go write down everything.
We didn't even use like the printed character sheets like they do nowadays. It was a piece of notebook paper.
Yep. I honestly like doing it on notebook paper because it's easier to. I can put the stuff that I need right up front where I want it. It's kind of like when I play World of Warcraft. We have what's called weak auras, and now weak auras, what they do is it tracks certain things. My abilities, I put the abilities that matter to me right up here. Everything else that I may not need are down off to the side. I may need them eventually, but they're over to the side. And so doing it on pen and paper, like I said, I think the push to advance this in D&D 6th edition is what we're calling it. I think that with the 6th edition and stuff like that, and no one asked you, Nickel Ward. I think with the push to technology, it's going to be great. It's a quality of life thing. That's all it is. It's not going to push out players. It's going to actually increase players because think about it. Some players, they may not be able to do paper, but now think about it. Now it's going to be easier for you to play across the world with players.
Yeah.
Which, when it already from the pandemic, has become much more likely that people are playing online than
Yeah.
they're playing in stores still.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. D&D has always been I do not like the online experience.
Yeah.
If I wanted to play a game online, I'd play a World of Warcraft or something that's meant for that kind of
We did
experience.
that for a little while with your game. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just
It's not the same. I mean, D&D is a social game where you're supposed to be gathering with your friends in the same location.
We play in D&D. We really don't have friends.
Yeah.
Rolling
Going to
real
a game,
dice.
going to a game store where you're going to meet new friends because you don't have friends.
I don't. I can see your argument. I think it's a valid point that it's definitely going to start hurting some of the social interactions that this game.
Yeah.
This game will build confidence. It absolutely is. You think about some of the kids that we've had played with us. Me and Felix were talking. We were riding yesterday. We were talking about one of the kids that showed up. He didn't have a whole lot of people to play with, and eventually he kind of got into our group, and then he left our group to go play with the Magic the Gathering people.
I think that was my fault.
Yeah, that seems about right.
He
But-
didn't like the game I DM'd.
Right. So you think about it though.
That's the one you got hit twice with the javelin.
Think about it though. I mean, it builds social interactions. It'll build your skills. There's actually been several articles written about how this game has helped. Not only as people put it in resumes, being as DMs, but it's helped their actual charisma skills.
It's in my resume.
I absolutely.
Like
This podcast is on my resume right now.
I started a new job about 4 months ago, and quite literally, when I turned in my resume, the stuff like I put on there from DMing was on there,
No.
like as coordinating, meetings with people, that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So you think about it too, and like if you don't put this, and for those of you out there who are now listening to this, let's help you write a little bit quick resume. We can put this podcast on there. You think about this. This is social interactions. You're now social media stars. You guys are now learning how to use social media. All right, broadcast guys, host. Yeah. Look, you stars. There are dim stars. All right, you don't always.
Neil
have to,
Wirt is never going to write another resume in his life. Come on. If he leaves his current job, it's for retirement.
Yeah. But anybody out there, I mean, he's a guest anyway, so it's not like he can actually put this on here. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We're calling you out.
Chop liver.
Yeah. But think about it. There's so much that this game offers that as the players are going to find benefits out of it. And I think the benefit of this new technology play is going to be great. I think you're still going to have the old school cats that get together and do what we do, where we all come around and we sit around the table. But now think about it. If you have this Roll20, you build a table. It's still one of my ideas that I think would be really cool, building a table with like several monitors up underneath. They all connect. And it's the maps. You put the maps out there, and each square is represented. You can just move your characters around on the maps. And I think that would be awesome. Because now you have a little bit. Now you can design, like one monitor may show one level of a floor or a part of a city. And I think there's something there. And if it's all loaded into D&D Beyond, I can add the tokens and the character stuff right there. And I also have it behind the DM screen.
Well, and that's going to be
They've
the
got
thing
tables
with
like that.
with their
Right.
new.
As big as a pool table, just a huge monitor.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool, though, to build one, though, like that?
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when D&D releases their beta test of their virtual tabletop,
Yeah.
that's the thing. The Roll20s and the Fantasy Grounds and those are going to have a hard time competing, especially if D&D locks them out of links like currently that you can pull the data from D&D Beyond into the Roll20s or those kind of places.
Let me ask a question, because this is something we're all basically gamers in here. We play video games.
Yeah.
One of the things I hate about modern gaming is like the battle pass system, the season pass.
Oh,
crap.
I guarantee you Wizards is getting one.
Yeah.
You think Wizards is going to do
Oh,
that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Look at
subscription
D&D
model.
D&D Beyond now, where you can go in and you can buy the book with all these classes. But if you want to make an artificer, but you don't want to buy Tasha's or Eberron,
I don't mean like microtransactions.
Microtransactions.
You will own nothing and you will be happy about
Yeah.
it. That's
It'll-
the subscription model. I hate subscriptions.
It'll
That's
be
life.
like
They
for
have-
season 1, you pay $200 and you get all the books that are releasing in season 1. Individually,
it's worse.
those
It's
books,
worse than that. They have a subscription model in D&D for a DM, where it gives you access to all currently released books for $15 a month or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
the
I'm
price
not
off the
doing
top
that.
of
I'm
my-
buying the book one
Yeah.
time.
And then when you stop paying that subscription, you lose access to all of those books.
No, not doing that.
You don't own any of them in that case. There are those subscriptions exist on the D&D mod setup right
And
now.
they're making tons off.
Oh, absolutely, because there are people who just love the game that much. I'm just not.
And it's
I have
easier
to-
than having to go through and buy each of the individual books. It's much cheaper this month. And, I'm just doing it for this month.
Yeah, but then
But
you
over
think
the
about it,
course of the course of however many years, if you're not buying,
I would rather spend $200 one time than spend 15 times 12 is you're already looking almost $200 right there over a year, and if you continue playing, so you may like.
yeah. And
180,
don't quote me on that price. I haven't looked at it in
No,
quite a while.
I'm just.
It could be $30, $40.
Well,
I don't know what
I
the
just
price is.
noticed the other day on Beyond D&D that they have dropped all of the base prices of books. If you're buying a physical book from them,
Yeah.
they're like $30.
Well, yeah, that's
so none of
because
them are
that's because they were
Amazon.
they used to be splitting the profits with D&D as part of the licensing agreement. Now D&D owns them directly, so
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
profit to them now.
But some of us are just old school too. I like having a physical book. In
Absolutely.
My hands. I mean, my wife and I had a book themed wedding. We love books.
Yeah,
Right?
it
And more
does-
books. Yes, give me more
Nerd.
books.
On the upside, it does not look like they're going away from creating books. They know that's where their money makers are. Although some of their books have become very, very thin, little. But that's a topic for another day.
That sounds like a topic for another episode, which obviously means that this is the end of this one.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Make sure you guys come find us out on Bolgg and PC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can email us at bolgandpc@gmail.com. You got Red Dragon Workshop Studios. Go find those guys for all your miniatures. And with that being said, say goodbye, Bolgg.
Goodbye, Bolgg.
Say goodbye, Luke.
See ya.
Have a good one, guys.
We appreciate you listening to Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything, featuring Luke the Bard, of course. Make sure you go find us on Facebook to see what old concoctions Bolgg is cooking up in the kitchen. And if you want your emails read, then email us at bolgandpc@gmail.com. And as always, happy adventures. Yarr.